you for inviting me to be a part of this panel. So I'm an associate professor in the Department of Environmental Toxicology, and my research is sort of related to climate change. However, I do teach a lecture on climate change and how that impacts how contaminants move in the environment. I teach only graduate students, and I guess I'm fortunate because I'm in a department where the students are environmental toxicologists. They're concerned about the environment, and so what I teach related to climate change, I don't get a lot of pushback. I don't know if people do, because where I'm at, everybody is really concerned about the environment, climate change, and so, okay, thank you. So as I mentioned, it's a graduate level class, and we look at how changes in both temperature and precipitation are going to affect how the contaminants move. It's an environmental chemistry class that we're teaching this in, and so it's just one lecture, but I include it because I believe that it's important, and our students are actually, as environmental toxicologists, are going to be faced with this issue for their entire career, probably. So I think it's important, and as far as I know, this is probably the only lecture in our department that actually addresses this, even though we do have faculty that are doing research related to this. So how changes in the precipitation and the temperature are going to affect how contaminants move in the environment, which will ultimately affect where we find them and then potentially what organisms can be exposed. And so the way that I presented in class is to talk about what climate change is, even though they should all know, and then show them some studies that are published in the literature, so how environmental toxicologists look at the idea of climate change and how that impacts contaminant movement and toxicity. And then what I do is walk them through this figure from the peer-reviewed literature, and I apologize, I forgot to put the actual citation for this paper, but I give them this figure, and this figure has a very detailed legend that corresponds to all the AUVCs that you see up here. And so what we do is we walk through this, and we talk about how either changing temperature, precipitation is going to affect the movement in the different compartments. So we have in the air, up in the top, the A through E, and then letter J talks about, like in a soil system, as do the G, H, and I. And then you can see here K through M on the bottom is talking about in a aquatic system. So we go through this, and then on the exam, I always ask them questions from this figure. I've been doing this lecture now probably 4 or 5 years, and I use this because it's a really good summation of what will happen if you get these changes in temperature and or precipitation, and how that might affect how contaminants move. You're supposed to be brief, right?